Hey guys, welcome back. I think when you get in the TV station, there's a cutscene. I don't remember. I'm not sure if the last video recorded the gameplay. I don't know. I always forget. Because when I stop recording, I click the capture button to turn it off. But sometimes I look at it and I see it's off, and I think, was it ever on? I don't know. And I get scared. But I don't know. Hopefully it recorded. Sometimes I get a little bit too casual when I do this, and I just forget to, like, I have all these things I have to record, and I have to record the video and the audio and the gameplay. I don't think there's any bad guys until you get to the cutscene, so.
I don't buy it. See a way in?
I had another religious note today. Yippee. I don't know. Should I talk about it? I don't know. I thought I had better notes this week, but maybe not.
Tommy do this? Let's get inside.
Can I throw this at her? No. I'm rereading the Bible, so I have notes about it. I'm rereading the Bible, and I have notes. That's not what I mean, but I have actual just notes of thinking about stuff. There is a verse that is in the New Testament that says, in pretty clear, plain language, women should be silent in the church at all times. And if they have something to say, they should wait until they go at home and they can talk about it there. I don't know. I don't talk to a lot of religious people. I don't know what they think about that. How am I not knowing where to go? Is it up there? But I do know. Well, I know my parents talk. My parents. Oh, there it is. I know they consider themselves literalists, which means that everything in the Bible is actually how it actually happened. Jonah was eaten by a whale. There was a flood. There's not too much interpretation to be had. That's you could probably tell that's not how I see things, but my parents are good people, like I said, and so and I always say I'm a bad person, so maybe I would be a better person if I would just be a literalist. So the literal interpretation of that verse is that women just should never speak in the church. Right? So if you go to a church and women are speaking, it's bad. That doesn't pass. Well, sorry. There's a cutscene coming up, and maybe I should just wait until after it. What was the note? There is also another verse in the New Testament which says, all the commandments are summed up by love your neighbor. If you love your neighbor, you're fulfilling the law. And the law is just shorthand, basically, for the Torah and the Old Testament. And it's really important in that time period to fulfill the law. So Paul is constantly, and Jesus is constantly saying, you're fulfilling the law if you love someone. Even if you're not directly following the exact laws, if you eat fish on Sunday or whatever the rule is in the Old Testament, you could still be fulfilling the law if you're doing it in love. That's what the New Testament says. So, if a woman talks in church and you tell her to shut up, how can you possibly do that in love? No, you know what? Actually, I'm sorry, you can't talk right now. It's against the rules. Why is it against the rules? I don't know. It just says in the Bible you can't talk, so you can't talk. Well, maybe we can just think about it for a second, and maybe women can add a perspective to the church that's important, and just common sense would say, well, maybe Paul is talking about something specific to their time and their area. Maybe it doesn't apply to all churches all the time. Women should never speak. Maybe even women should speak a little bit less than men. I don't know. I mean, we can think about it a little bit more, right? But I think I've heard people say, like, if a woman's a preacher, then I'm not going to go to that church. I don't know about that. And that's my reasoning. Because I don't know, people seem to forget about that love rule. Like, love has to override everything. If you're doing something and you're not doing it in love, then, you know, it just goes back to square one, right?
But it's a message.
Okay, I think this is where the cutscene starts. Oh, I forget about these guys. These guys are called Scars.
Keep your eyes open.
I don't think it's a spoiler to kind of explain a little bit about what's happening here. They explain it to you through letters and notes and things. And just side conversations that you hear. And eventually, there's direct exposition about what's happening. But there's this cult that's led by this Sarah person, who's the person in the pictures, and the followers are called Scars, and also Scars the derogatory term, and Seraphite is the what's the opposite of derogatory? Urogatory? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just thinking of euphemism and dysphemism and euphoric and dysphoric. I don't know. So derogatory and I don't know.
Is that graffiti again? Who are these guys?
And the wolves are like an offshoot of the fireflies, I think. And they're kind of fighting these Seraphites. I don't think any of that's a spoiler. But we learn this a little bit throughout playing the game. I think it's good knowledge to have going forward. I know the wolves are connected somehow to the fireflies, but I don't remember how. They're like... Maybe they're not. I don't remember. We'll learn about it as we go. I don't exactly remember. Okay. Let's get to the cutscene, and then that'll be it for today, probably. Was that it for the note? I think so. Yeah, that was it. I've talked about that before. I'm sure I'm not totally right about everything that I say, but I mean, when you talk about something as vague as love, you could be meaning a lot of... I mean, the Westboro Baptist Church, they think they're loving people when they say gay people are going to hell and they go outside of funerals and they protest them.
We're too
They're saying,
exhausted.
oh, we love you, that's why we're saying you're going to hell. So, I mean, you can misinterpret it, but I guess you have to, well, Paul defines love, right? Love is patient, love is kind, love, I wish I had it memorized. The one I like is love never keeps track of wrongdoings. So if you love someone, you shouldn't hold anything against them. Like, well, you did this thing before, and that's why I'm mad at you. If you love someone, you forgive them and you move on. And I mean, there's consequences for your actions, but if you're married to someone, you're in it together. So, what's the point of holding something against them? Just be honest with them, I guess. I know it's easy. This is, again, I should have like a segment. Relationship advice from someone who's never been in a relationship. I know you think, come on, like I did the dishes every day this week, you should do it.
What is that?
Let's just go. We should be there. Right? Oh, are there bad guys? There might be. I don't remember. I didn't think there were. I just went in a circle. What am I doing? I don't remember. Oh, here we go.
Shit.
Locked. Okay, come on. Let's get to this cutscene. You know what? I think I might just end there and then start the next episode at the cutscene because I can't find it. I'm going in circles here. So look forward to that tomorrow. Let's end on a nice note. Let's read the definition of love as defined by Paul in Romans, or what, Corinthians? Corinthians 1:13. So, in the New Testament, Paul and Jesus talk a lot about love. It's so important. You gotta love your neighbor. You gotta love God. They never define love. Well, Jesus never defines love. Specifically, I don't think. But Paul does. In 1 Corinthians, he says, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, it always trusts, it always hopes, it always perseveres. Love never fails, but where there are prophecies, they will cease. Okay, that's it. So let's think about real quick the Westboro Baptist Church and how they are. What part of this definition are they doing wrong? It does not dishonor others. That's one. If you go to someone's funeral and you say, this person's going to hell, that's dishonoring that person. They're dead. I mean, it's not honoring human life. It's not respecting human life, right? If you go to a funeral and say this person's going to hell, and if you're like them, you're going to hell too. It keeps no records of wrongs. It does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. Okay, I mean, I would say that that's evil, but that's kind of like That's your definition of it, right? It always protects. It always trusts. Love is kind. It's still a little bit subjective about, well, what exactly is kind. I think that what the Westboro Baptist Church is not kind. It does not boast. That's something that I think a lot of Christians don't do a good job with, is boasting. Whenever you talk to non-Christian people, it comes across like you're boasting. You're saying, I believe in God, and that makes me a better person. That's how it comes across to a non-Christian person. If you do it right, you don't say that, but that's what a lot of people do. They'll say, I'm a Christian, and I used to be a non-Christian, but then I found Jesus, and now I'm a better person. And that's kind of what the Westboro Baptist Church people are doing. They're saying, we're better than you. We believe in God. We're not gay, so we're better. We're going to heaven. You're going to hell. It's kind of like boasting, I would say. So don't do that. So, I don't know. When I read that back, I think the Westboro Baptist Church is pretty much breaking all those rules subjectively. But I think objectively, some of those, they would think that they're being kind, but I don't think that they're being kind. But I think if you talk about boasting and keeping track of wrongdoings and whatever, dishonoring others, I think if you ask someone from the Westboro Baptist Church, are you dishonoring this person by doing this, or are you honoring them? I think they would have a hard time justifying that and saying, well, yes, I am honoring this dead person by saying they're going to hell and their family are, well, I don't know. I can't remember. I wish I had better examples than just that one. They do stuff like that. I don't know if they still do it. They haven't been in the news recently, but it's like a 5-year ago thing. Look up the Westboro Baptist Church. They're kind of terrible people. They're like a terrible Christian cult. Sorry. Oh, I went way over again. Sorry. Okay. See you tomorrow. And we'll watch a cutscene tomorrow.